It's the Glock 43X versus the Glock 43 versus the Glock 26. You can decide which one of these three pistols comes out on top. Let's take these Glocks to the bench. The grip texture on all three of these pistols, the 43X, the 43, and I'm using a Gen 4 26. The grip texture is pretty much all the same. It's this very small checkering that's on here. The 43X has no finger grooves, which I really like. I love the way this fits in my hand. The 43 is a little bit narrower than the 43X in the grip, especially right back here where it mates with your hand. Again, no finger grooves. I'm using extended base plates on the 43 and on the 26 because they're such a popular item for this comparison. The grip on the 26 she's the short fat chunk. That's what she is. Finger grooves. Doesn't feel bad, but just different and kind of weird. This pistol has always felt kind of weird to me. Again, I'm using the extended base plate on the 26 and on the 43 because those are very common. This gives you a indication of the grip length difference as well as the width difference. The Glock 26, the Glock 43X, and the Glock 43. Okay, side profile view, Glock 26, Glock 43, and Glock 43X. Magazine size differences, 10 round magazine for the Glock 26, 10 round magazine for the Glock 43X, 6 round magazine for the Glock 43. Alright, so weight distribution with these three pistols. The Glock 26, she's fat, she's chunky, decent weight over the hand, good balance. I've always been a fan of short slide Glocks. I tend to shoot them really well. The Glock 43, pick that up in comparison. It feels a little top heavy to me, like there's not enough down below. It's narrow. When I grip this, I feel a lot of pressure right back here. And the Glock 43X. I pick up this and it just feels so good. It's the perfect size back here. It's nicely curved, fits my hand, and my fingers wrap it. It's a great feeling frame. Alright, the trigger on this Glock 26, this is a standard Glock trigger just like you'd find on a 17 or a 19. Comes back to a wall, gets a little mush to it, and then sometime down the road breaks. Just like that. Just heavier than the new guns. So, the 43, Glock 43 has a pretty nice trigger on it. These small frames all do. They come back to a wall and they just break nicely. Crisp. They're very crisp compared to the standard Glock trigger like that 26. Very crisp. And then the 43X feels just as good as a 43. Actually, feels like there might be slightly more over travel on this pistol than there is on the 43. We'll put them all on the scale and see how they break. While all three of these pistols have triggers that break within a pound of each other, the Glock 26 definitely has a different feel to it than the Glock 43 or the Glock 43X. The 26 has a little bit more of a steady movement. It doesn't stack up to a wall quite as well. And what I've found in shooting pistols like that is you have a little bit more anticipation of when it's going to go off, when it doesn't just break in a very crisp manner. Okay, so weight-wise, out of the three, this Glock 26 is the heaviest. It's also the thickest. So if you're going to carry it, more bulk and more weight. The lightest out of the three pistols is the Glock 43. The grip is thinner, the slide width is the same as the Glock 43X. Actually, there's 1 millimeter difference in the specs. The Glock 43X, a little bit longer frame, very well balanced, very light. In fact, it seems like there's quite a weight difference between the 43X and the Glock 26. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for the comparisons here at the bench between these 3 Glock pistols. Let's take these Glocks to the range. Alright, so what I thought we'd do today is, rather than just show what the pistols are capable of shooting group-wise, because they're all very accurate pistols, I thought I would actually talk to you about my impressions while I'm shooting each of the pistols, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, up first, Glock 43X. It's a really soft shooting gun. The trigger breaks so nice, I can just press and press and it just shoots. One thing I'm noticing right now is this trigger hurts. It's a painful trigger. About the 3rd shot I started feeling it and my finger started hurting right there, the bottom side of it. It's very cold out, it's 20 degrees, but still, I know I mentioned this in another video, that trigger right there is pointy and is not comfortable, but the gun is comfortable. Alright, so this Glock 26 we're going to shoot next has finger extensions on it. They don't add any extra capacity, but they are there, so I just wanted to point that out because that does alter the grip feel of this gun. Okay, Glock 26. That was me. Boy, this trigger's a lot heavier. So this one, it's got the same pointy trigger on it. I can feel it on my finger. For some reason it feels a little bit better than the one on the 43. That first shot was me. I knew I did it. So, comfortable. It's heavy and blocky. The recoil was, not much different than the 43X, to tell you the truth. Alright, the Glock 43 that I'm shooting today has the standard 2 mags with it. One does not have a finger extension on it and one does, so the one without I'll shoot first. Alright, Glock 43. That was me. So, the finger doesn't feel good on any of these triggers, especially in the cold. This gun has a lot more pop to it. It really jumps in the hand, and yeah, that last shot was me. I really like the feel of the small frame. This particular small frame, I feel it. Well, actually, look at the mark on my hand. Can we see that? There's the Glock 43 right there, right in the web of my hand. It creates a lot more pressure. It is thinner back here than the 43X. So let's run these for 5 rounds another time, and I try to talk a little bit more about what I'm feeling during the shooting process. Alright, Glock 43X. Before I even shoot this thing, when I pick up this gun, it just feels so comfortable in my hand compared to the 43 that I just got done shooting. This just spreads out the pressure on my hand to a nicer area. It's very smooth, very comfortable. My fingers wrap around it. Feels really good. So my finger is hurting. Shot number 3 again. Shot number 3, my finger starts hurting. I know it's the pressure, I know it's the cold, but I just wish this had a smooth trigger. I love this gun so much. There's so much good about this pistol. It's just, man, you know, Glock has a slogan, Glock Perfection, and it's here. This is it. This is Glock Perfection right here. This is, at least so far, if that's even achievable, perfection. But the best pistol I've ever felt in my hands right here when it comes to a Glock. Alright, so I pick up the Glock 26 and immediately it's heavy, it's bulky, it's chunk, it's a chunk. It's a great pistol. It really is a great pistol. I'm not knocking it in any way. These are fantastic pistols. But it's chunky compared to the 43X that I was just holding. Glock 26. Man, that trigger's a lot heavier. We'll blame that high one on the distraction of the squirrel over there in the leaves. Ouch. Okay, I'll tell you about the ouch in just a minute. Ouch! Twice in a row. Ouch! Right there. That finger extension right there pinched me twice in a row on my pinky. Ow. There's a squirrel running around over there by the oak tree and the leaves. So I was picking that up peripherally, and I'll blame that high shot on that. How about that? That's all me. It's all me. These are great guns, but holy cow, is this trigger heavy compared to that 43X. It's like I'm pressing it, and when I want it to go off, it's not quite going off. I want it to go off, and it's not going off yet. And that's the one thing I've always tinkered with Glocks to try to get them to have that better trigger. You've probably done that too. And the 43X has such a good trigger on it. So does the 43. Both of those are really good. I like the 26. I've been a fan of the 26 for a long time. I tend to shoot short Glocks more accurately than I do long Glocks. I can shoot a 26 more accurately than I can shoot a 17. That's just me. I'm weird that way, but short Glocks for me are where it's at as far as accuracy. Alright, going to run the 43 one last time. This time it's the one with the factory finger extension on it. And we'll see if I get pinched by this one. Alright, Glock 43. Wow. That's a lot more jump than the 26. A lot more. Yeah. So, another great gun. I've been a huge fan. Boy, you can see that impression in my hand again. This pistol. You know, I've been a fan of these small frame Glocks, the 42 and the 43, but I'm very excited about the way that the 43X feels in comparison to this 43. All right, that's going to wrap it up here at the range. We'll head back to the bench. I'll talk about the bad and the good of these three pistols, and you can decide which one you think is best as I give you my final thoughts. All right, we'll start by talking about some of the things that I don't like about these three pistols. So a common thing amongst all three of these pistols is the trigger pad that's on these triggers. It is ridged. They call it a serrated trigger, but it's ridged and it comes to a point. I call it the pointy trigger because it comes to a point and it hurts. It's not comfortable to shoot, The only way I can shoot these pistols comfortably is if I actually put the trigger, the point of the serration right into my first knuckle. Then I can shoot them comfortably. But when I'm trying to do small, slow, steady squeeze groups, like I was trying to do today, I definitely push with the pad, and the lower part, like in this way, vertically, the lower part of the pad on my finger is tender from shooting all these guns. The trigger pull on the Gen 4 26 that we were playing with, I squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and I want it to go off, and then I shoot it sometimes. And of course my two flyers today were both from this pistol. So the trigger on this, comparatively to the 43 and 43X, gets a lower grade. Okay, so with the 43X, these front slide serrations that got added onto this pistol, I know a lot of you wanted front slide serrations on a Glock, which is why they added it. I don't personally care for that, and I think, for one, I'm not going to use it, and for two, I think it's going to make it harder to clean. I've got a couple hundred rounds through this pistol at this point, and it's already starting to tarnish with powder residue. I've only wiped it. I haven't used a solvent on it yet, but it definitely does not wipe clean when I get done with a range session. You know, the silver finish is really nice. It looks cool, but the black Glocks were fine with me too, because this is a utility tool to me. I'm not trying to look fancy. I mean, if I wanted to look fancy, I guess I could say, hey, this is really cool because it kind of matches my staple gun. So when I go to the range, I can have matching equipment, because look how cool I am. I've got silver and black, everything. But I don't really care about that kind of thing. So, yeah, the front slide serrations give this a lower grade for me. The Glock 43, if I'm going to nitpick here, I'm going to say that it has snappy recoil. It doesn't hurt. It's not like shooting a Magnum revolver that really jumps in your hand. It's just snappy, and it's not real fast to get back on target with because of that. Definitely felt more pressure in the hand with this being a thinner grip. These little, the grip texture was imprinted on the back of my hand after every time I shot this pistol. It jumped, it's snappy, so that's the lower grade for the 43. The Glock 26 gets a lower grade for the overall grip, the feel of the gun, the way it sits in the hand. I want to love this pistol, and I'm close to loving a Glock 26, but when I put my hand on it, it's just such a fat little chunk that it's weird. It's weird in my hand. So the magazine extension helps as far as some grip comfort, but the magazine extension pinched me, and it's not the first time that this gun has pinched me over the last couple weeks of testing these out. So, lower grade for the 26. The Glock 43 gets lower marks because it only holds 6 rounds. The Glock 26 and the Glock 43X both hold 10. This one only holds 6. Alright, so now the fun part, we get to talk about the good things that I like about all three of these pistols. The Glock 26 is a proven design. This is a rugged, well-built tool. It has the capability of swapping out the 10-round mag with a 15-round mag from a Glock 19, a 17-round mag from a Glock 17, heck, even a 19-round mag from a Glock 19X. They're all the same shape internally, same controls, and like I said, it is a great pistol. The Glock 43 has a great trigger. It breaks, comes to a wall, breaks, really nice, very great feel to it. The Glock 43 is great if you need a carry pistol that's as small as possible in 9mm and you want a Glock. Here it is. The Glock 43X gets super high marks for comfort. You pick up this gun and you say, wow, I can't believe how good this feels in my hand every single time. The trigger on it breaks consistently at 4.5 pounds or slightly under. This is an exceptional pistol. The Glock 26 had the least amount of muzzle rise during shooting. While I don't feel like it necessarily recoiled less than the 43X, it certainly recoiled less than the 43. Seemed like the sight sat more level and it came back on target faster. The Glock 43 is the lightest of the three pistols that we tested today. It's the least amount of weight, which means the least amount of bulk if you want something to carry. The Glock 26 is an easy pistol to shoot well. You point it, you press the trigger breaks really clean on this. It breaks a little heavier than the others, but it breaks clean and it's easy to have consistent groups with this pistol. I'm going to quote my son on this one for the 43X. He says, "This pistol shoots when I want it to." And I think that was well said. You're pressing the trigger, you want it to go off, and it goes off. It's, these new triggers are really, really good. Are they as good as a single action Smith & Wesson trigger? Well, of course not. They're a Glock trigger. But for a Glock trigger, just outstanding. I think it's important to note that all three of these pistols deliver really good accuracy. That's not something you're going to have to worry about with a Glock pistol, is accuracy. It's just a matter of how well you shoot it. This is a group my son shot today after we got done filming. The flyers out here, those are my shots from the 26. Most of my group was here. His was right there. But that's 30 rounds. That's 30 rounds from 3 different pistols that he shot. And he's got 4 over here. And if you take those 4 to the left that he pulled, that's what you're looking at. This is a 21-foot target. And shows you that these 3 pistols are all capable of producing the same kind of results on your target. Alright, so some uses for these really cool Glock pistols. If we're talking target use, I'm probably going to say the 26 or the 43X. These were comfortable to shoot. You're going to get burned out faster shooting the 43, I believe, because the 43 has a snappier recoil than these two. If we're talking about a carry pistol, the 43 probably gets higher marks because it weighs the less and it has the smallest dimensions. The grip is smaller on it, as in the butt of the grip, how far it sticks out, which is the hardest thing to conceal if you're carrying. And beyond that, I would say the 43X comes next in line just because this is very controllable, 10 rounds, and lighter and thinner than the Glock 26. If I was going to hunt with one of these 3 pistols, like if I was going to walk out back and try to shoot a rabbit right now, I would choose the 43X because it gives me the most comfort, it's easy to carry, but most importantly, I shoot my smallest groups with this gun out of these 3 pistols. If I wanted a pistol to have in my vehicle, the Glock 26 probably gets the highest marks. It's a rugged, proven design, 10-round magazine with the addition of being able to add a 15 or a 17-round magazine to it. I'm not worrying about carrying it on me, so the extra bulk and weight of this pistol would be a non-issue. If I was going to shoot competition with these pistols, which probably this one I will, the 26 is a proven design, proven track record on accuracy. I shoot a 26 more accurately than I do a 17. The 43X, 10-round capacity, very comfortable grip, excellent trigger. I'm shooting my smallest groups ever with a Glock with this pistol. The 43 could come into play because if you're shooting a class that is specifically designed for a 6-round magazine, like you would in GSSF Pocket Division, the 43 comes into play there. Again, I think you're going to get burned out faster with this gun at the range because of the snappy recoil, and I think that you're going to be happier overall if you're training to try to shoot competitively with either the 43X or the Glock 26. So which one of these pistols do you think came out on top? These are my opinions that I'm giving you, and my perception may be different than yours. Is it the rugged, reliable build of the Glock 26? Is it the concealability of the Glock 43? Or is it the comfort and shootability of the Glock 43X? Let me know in the comments below what your opinion is. If you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up like on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and then the bell notification icon so that you get notified when we upload new videos. Good luck and be safe on your next outdoor adventure. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.